It brings down the blood pressure in your system, your nerves will be calm, all these kind of things. Today doctors are prescribing. So they put this metal on the toes and also on the ring finger always, because if there is metal on certain strategic places in your body, you will not accidentally leave your body. So when you do spiritual sadhana, when we notice somebody is becoming very intense, first thing is, I will gift them, they must wear and they cannot remove without permission.
It's not just the bodies that met, two people's energies become like this. Now you can't break it. If you break it, you will have to severely damage both the people, you have to tear them apart.
So they put this metal on the toes and also on the ring finger always, because if there is metal on certain strategic places in your body, you will not accidentally leave your body. So when you do spiritual sadhana, when we notice somebody is becoming very intense, first thing is, I will gift them a simple copper ring, which they must wear. They must wear and they cannot remove without permission. Because if this simple metal is on the ring finger, when they get into certain states of exuberance, by accident they will not slip out of the body. So, she got into such exuberant states. Naturally, certain little bit of jewelry things were there. These things were never discussed till that point. There are many things I refuse to discuss because devices will work well only when people do not know how it works. So we just put it on people, we never explain. But when this situation happened, I had to explain what happened. She sat there on a full moon day evening with everybody. There were people around, and after 5 minutes, it is in the shrine, she got up and went. My eyes are closed, I knew she got up. I got little irritated, because nobody ever gets up once they sit down. Till we say it is time, nobody ever gets up. And of all the people, my wife getting up and going, little irritation in me. Why is she getting up of all the people? Then I ignored it and I sat down. After 5 minutes, she came and sat down. In another 7-8 minutes, she just went like that. When I looked, she was gone, with a big smile on her face. Then I looked, she has removed her nose ring, she's removed her bangles, she removed her toe rings. See, she did not know intellectually, but at that moment she felt this is what is stopping her. And she pulled out all those things, kept next to the wash basin and came back. And she sat down within 7-8 minutes. But this is not something that happened accidentally. She announced this almost 9 months ahead of time. She had prepared, my girl who was only 7 years at that time, that she's going to leave in this month, but it happened 1 month early for various reasons, so that's a different aspect. But this is not new in this country. Any number of yogis just sit down, announce to everybody and leave their body. She was not somebody who was steeped in spiritual sadhana. She's just a very alive, she's either up or down, you know. She's either absolutely exuberant or down. She doesn't know the in-between. She's not somebody whom you would consider a yogi or established in sadhana, nothing like that. She's a very exuberant person and that's all it takes. That you're alive, that's all it takes. It's not that you know this or that, you're just 100% alive. That's the only qualification you need. And she started working towards it, she announced it 9 months ahead, we tried to sabotage it in so many ways to slow it down, but it went the way it went. So if you wear Rudraksh, it gives you a certain cocoon, it gives you a certain stability to your aura, the travel, movement can be taken well. If you wear Rudraksh, it also protects you against that kind of negative situations. Many times, these things could happen to people even though they are not directed towards them. Right now, let's say somebody is doing some black magic to me, but I am not receptive to it. You're sitting here, you may get it. It is not necessary it must be aimed at you. If you're susceptible at a certain moment, you will get it. So, Many times people may go through bad patches and things like that. Don't ascribe this, I don't want to create fear in your mind, but many times we have seen people being influenced by certain things, not knowing what's happening, blaming all kinds of things, not knowing what exactly is happening with themselves. Wearing a simple mala gives a certain level of protection for that person. It brings down the blood pressure in your system, your nerves will be calm, all these kind of things. Today doctors are prescribing Rudraksh in India. For hypertension, cardiac ailments, doctors are actually prescribing Rudraksh. This is just where this… your blood pressure will go down because it has a certain reverberation which calms the whole system.
When you got married, they tied Mangal Sutram to you. Mangal Sutra means it's a sacred thread. If this is properly done, what it meant was… You create this thread in a certain way. If you have forgotten this, every year you're supposed to renew this Mangal Sutram. You know this? Not being done anymore because it's a thick gold chain. It was supposed to be either raw cotton thread prepared in a certain way or raw silk thread, so that there is a whole science, there is a whole way of manipulating one's energies or using one's energies, which is a tantric way, where a certain nadi… you know what's a nadi? We've talked about this, the 72,000 nadis. Certain nadi from your system is taken and a certain nadi from the betrothed one is taken, and the thread is prepared in a certain way and it's tied to you. Now, the moment you have physical intimacy, is not just the bodies that met, two people's energies become like this. Now you can't break it. If you break it, you will have to severely damage both the people, you have to tear them apart. This is how marriages were conducted. They got them married when they were very young, 8, 9, 11 years of age, they got them married, but they tied them up in such a way, it never occurred to them that they need to look elsewhere. It never occurred to them. This may look horrifying for today's mind, but I want you to know the stability of that gave them such power that they could focus on their lives to do what they want to do, because there's no such thing as emotional insecurity. It is a new thing in India. There is simply no such thing as emotional insecurity because there is such a stable bonding. Not an idea ever occurs in people's mind, could my husband be doing something, could my wife be doing something else? Such a thing never occurs because they've been tied internally in a certain way.
To receive free tips on food, health, diet, lifestyle and Sadhguru's upcoming programs, you can join us on WhatsApp, Signal and Telegram, or follow us on Instagram and Facebook by clicking on the link below.